Right now, Saturday sun followed by Sunday showers. We're tracking rain chances for the end of your weekend and the work week ahead. And a budget battle is set for this week at the Wisconsin state capitol. What Republican lawmakers plan to slash from Governor Evers' plan and what, if anything, Evers can do about it.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It is 6:30 this May 5th. I'm Keely Arthur in with meteorologist Chris Reese. I have my coffee. We had kind of a late night last night.
Another late night last night. This time I didn't do the coffee.
Didn't do the coffee. That is...
I was wired yesterday, so this morning it was water and music to get me going. So
okay.
I'm still feeling great, which is fantastic.
Energy.
It was a great night last night.
We were at the Wisconsin Broadcasters Awards.
Several awards won, and then we swept at the end with Station of the Year. So yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. And we do have a fantastic start to your Sunday as well, Keely, when it comes to the forecast. Plenty of sunshine out there right now. A little bit of a hazy look on the horizon, but I want to show you the high temperatures that we saw yesterday. We did top out right around 67 degrees here. Janesville made it to 70, so did Mineral Point. Boscobel upwards towards 71. Black River Falls at 73. And those temperatures yesterday that we saw were oddly enough above average by a couple degrees. Now, as we go into today, we're forecasting a high of 70, which of course would still send temperatures to above normal. And get this, we've seen warming temperatures over the past 24 hours as well. Right now we are 8 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. That's with the temperature of 45. 51 in the Dells right now, La Crosse at 54. We're going to continue to see these warming temperatures going throughout the day. And again, like I mentioned, highs will be near 70. I would suspect some folks would get warmer. The only downside is we're going to see a chance for showers and thunderstorms moving in. We're relatively quiet now, but we are watching the radar towards the north and west. And Keely, when it comes to Maine weather, I'm going to be timing out those rain chances.
It's nice, though, to just see 70 degrees somewhere.
Oh, seriously, especially after the winter we've had. It feels fantastic.
We're ready for it. All right, thank you so much, Chris. Well, just into the Channel Alert Center, a 33-year-old man is dead after a head-on crash in Janesville Saturday night. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened on Highway 14 north of East County Road MM. They say the driver of a Ford Mustang was trying to pass another car not involved in the accident when it crashed head-on with a different one. Deputies say the man killed was a passenger in that Mustang. The Mustang's driver, Thomas Bloom of Janesville, was arrested for homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He is currently being held in the Rock County Jail and is expected to be in court tomorrow. Also in Rock County, Janesville police have arrested a man wanted for retail theft with the help of a canine officer and a drone. Officers say Alexander Schneck was first on their radar after he was identified as the driver quickly fleeing from a Shopko on Humes Road back on May 1st, which they say he stole from. Then last night, an officer found Schneck at the Quick Trip on East Memorial Drive in Janesville. Schneck reportedly ran out of the back of the store and began a foot chase. Canine Fred and a drone were used to find Schneck, who was hiding in the garage of, at the 700 block of Cornelia Street. He was arrested on several charges, including theft and burglary. We have a new warning from the DOT this morning. Drivers say they've noticed wait times doubling or even tripling at the Verona Road and Highway PD intersection. The Department of Transportation tells us that's because of new, larger configurations at the intersection. There's just too much space for 2 lanes of cars to turn left at the same time safely.
7:30 to your 9, and then from your 4 to 6, it's just amazingly crazy out there. I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot of accidents, but people at least have slowed down enough and know that just to take it easy, and it's going to take time.
The DOT tells us they've been constantly monitoring the volume of cars at the intersection and adjusting the configuration of lights as needed. Their main message to drivers now is be patient, plan some extra time, and check out alternative routes on their website. Looking ahead, officials say as soon as tomorrow, crews will begin shifting traffic near the intersection of Verona and Raymond Road. They say this will become permanent and all of the asphalt and concrete that has piled up on that median will eventually be crushed and reused as part of the project. New this morning, you can hear about Governor Evers meeting with Foxconn's CEO as he sits down with Neil Heinen for the record. The governor met with the company's CEO, Terry Go, Thursday and tells Heinen that he now trusts Foxconn since he knows their short-term plans. He called that a meet and greet since it was the first time meeting face-to-face. Now Go is moving out of daily operations to run for president of Taiwan. The governor was also introduced to those taking over for Go.
Certainly the people I have dealt with, the answer is yes. My goal with dealing with Foxconn has always been around issues of accountability and transparency, and I think we have helped shape that to some extent. We know now that what their present plans are, at least for the immediate present, is to build
Although there is some clarity, the governor says he will continue to monitor Foxconn. He wants them to be as transparent as possible, especially about their environmental standards. You can watch Governor Evers' full interview with Neil Heinen on For the Record this morning at 10:30 a.m. only here on News 3 Now. That sit-down comes as Republicans are planning to kill some of Governor Evers' major proposals this week. In a memo, Republican co-chairs said they plan to remove more than 70 policy items from the budget in their first vote, which takes place Thursday. Those lawmakers intend to remove the governor's plan to expand Medicaid, legalize medical marijuana, and cap enrollment in private voucher schools. Evers can still reintroduce those proposals as separate bills outside of the budget. We will have more on the budget battle in our 7 o'clock hour of the show. In this morning's consumer news, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is declaring the future is private. He says he wants to turn Facebook into a place where people can share things in more private ways than they currently can. The Facebook founder said he's committed to turning his company around and promises that going forward, protection of privacy will be the defining pillar of his social network. The overhauled app unveiled this week is supposed to make it easier for Facebook's more than 2.2 billion users to find people with common interests by connecting through its groups features.
In addition to the digital town square, we also need a digital equivalent of the living room that is just as built out as a platform with all of the different ways that we want to interact privately with messaging and small groups and sharing where the content doesn't stick around forever, simple and secure payments, private ways to share your location, and over time, lots of more different ways to interact privately.
Facebook also unveiled a new option to communicate through a messenger app designed for personal computers. It's part of Zuckerberg's plan to emphasize more private ways for Facebook users to communicate instead of encouraging them to share everything on their personal pages. Apple's bottom line is taking a big hit. The company says sales tanked 17% in the first quarter of the year. Earlier this year, the iPhone maker blamed the slowdown on sales to China's trade dispute with the U.S. Chinese smartphone makers are also stepping up their game, competing head-to-head with Apple. Wallet Hub is out with its list of best airlines for 2019, and topping the list, Alaska Airlines. Delta Airlines named the most reliable with the lowest rates of cancellations, delays, and mishandled bags. JetBlue ranked as the most comfortable thanks to its amenities like free Wi-Fi and complimentary snacks. Around the state, the city of Milwaukee is preparing for the 2020 Democratic National Convention. One of the first steps is extending the city's streetcar route to the Wisconsin Center District Convention Center. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett unveiled those plans this week. 2.4 miles will be added to the 2.1-mile streetcar system known as the HOP. The expansion includes about a half-mile extension to Wisconsin Avenue, where convention facilities are located in downtown Milwaukee. Barrett says he wanted to extend the streetcar into other neighborhoods, and the convention is the vehicle to do it. The system now includes 5 streetcars and 18 stations. The city's Common Council must approve the plan before it moves forward. A warning from the Wisconsin Farm Bureau. Be on the lookout for tractors on your drive into work this week. While farmers head to the fields this spring, farm equipment will be out on the roads, moving slower than the day-to-day traffic. Keep your eyes on the road and be sure to give plenty of room. Since 2011, the DOT counts more than 1,300 crashes involving ag equipment, causing 26 deaths and almost 700 injuries. More local news now. A new partnership is putting fears of a food desert on Madison's south side to rest. The Pick and Save along Park Street is one of the only full-service grocery stores in the area and is now set to close as SSM Health is taking over the property to build a new healthcare facility. Community members responded with concerns and frustration. Now the city plans to use a piece of city-owned land to build a new full-service grocery store in that area. And SSM Health will work to coordinate the timeline so the neighborhood doesn't go without any food.
There may be some growing pains in the process, but I'm really hopeful actually now that in the long term, what we're going to get is something that's really positive for the community.
Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway made the announcement, pointing out there are a number of locally owned ethnic food stores in that community as well, and she wants those to get some attention too. And this is perhaps the cutest story of the week. A program at UW's Veterinary Care Center is working to make sure working dogs can get back to protecting us as soon as possible. Riker is one of those canines. He first came in about a month ago with a broken tooth. For your pets, that might be painful, but for Riker, it means a risk of not working for the Iowa County Sheriff's Office. That's why the oral surgery team put metal crowns on all of his 4 canines to make sure the other teeth don't suffer the same fate and Riker can get back to work. Thanks, Riker.
It's amazing the stuff that we can do to hold on to those teeth and preserve them so that they can continue to work and, save lives and do the things that they do.
This cramped space to work in and appointments are booked throughout the fall. A beautiful start to your Sunday, but will it last? Chris will have the answer in your first alert forecast ahead. Here is a live look of the Capitol.
Traffic.
Welcome to Sunday. We're coming off the heels of what was an absolutely fantastic Saturday out there. And folks, things are starting out on a very beautiful note for us today. Again, though changes are on the way this afternoon. We start things out in Platteville, southwest Wisconsin. Winds the sunrise just about every single day. And so this is a live look from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. We come over to the Edgewater Skycam, and we still see plenty of sunshine for us here in Madison this morning. Temperatures are a lot warmer than they were this time yesterday as well. We're sitting at 45 degrees right now. Winds coming out of the east and southeast at 3 miles per hour. So overall, things aren't that breezy outside. 45 again here in Madison. You work your way over towards Waukesha there at 46. Same for Janesville. 48 Monroe, but then Mineral Point is at 50, Viroqua at 51, La Crosse at 54. Already, we're starting to see these temperatures take off in a positive direction, but we're also going to be watching for the radar to light up as we move into this afternoon. Already seeing one shower over near parts of Crawford County there. Not sure if that's reaching the ground as of yet, along with Richland County, but more showers and thunderstorms are back towards the north and west. That is actually where a cold front is draped. That's going to be pushing towards the south and east. High pressure to our south and east is allowing those warmer temperatures. It's also funneling up more moisture into the picture. So watch how we go throughout the day. 62 by lunch or 10 o'clock, 70s by the time we get you into the afternoon. But this is when those rounds of showers and thunderstorms will come through. And I do think the southern half of the area again has the better shot at seeing those showers and thunderstorms. Those will dry out this afternoon. Into Monday, we start things off with the cloud cover. Then Monday into Tuesday, things are going to get soggy once again, folks. That's as multiple systems come our way this week, bringing a lot of rain with them. But there are signs that we will dry out by the time we get you towards next weekend. So we just have to get through the work week before we see more sunshine. But it could be a hefty drink of water, folks. Between tonight's rain and the rain that we're expecting through the week, we could see 1 to 3 inches of rain across parts of southern Wisconsin. So we're going to be watching the high water threat as we go through the week as well. Still, temperatures are going to be comfortable, though. We're talking 60s and 50s. Wednesday could be a colder day, though. We're talking upper 40s and low 50s for those highs. That could linger into your Thursday, but check out the Saturday and Sunday forecast next week. Even Monday and Tuesday, it's possible that we could see several dry days once we get through this week. And I know a lot of folks are happy to hear that one.
Well, as long as the weekends are staying nice and sunny, I'll take it.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do, Keely.
Thanks, Chris. Just ahead, finding common ground. It's always a challenge, but especially now in these extraordinarily divided political times. Next, we introduce you to the lawmakers solving a big problem we can all agree on, proving we have more in common than you might think. That's ahead on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. While common ground might be hard to find in Washington, it is alive and well elsewhere in the country. Across the U.S., up to 80 million acres of national forest face the risk of devastating fires, and more than 46 million homes are in areas that could be engulfed by flames. Former Arizona Senator and CBS News contributor Jeff Flake went to his home state to look at an unprecedented effort to tackle wildfires.
Still left a few trees right there.
Stretching almost continuously from the Grand Canyon to New Mexico and into the White Mountains here in eastern Arizona. This is the largest ponderosa pine forest in the world. Imposing as it may be, much of it is unhealthy.
Wow, chimney left. It's a nice looking chimney.
For nearly 20 years, environmentalist Ethan Almack has worked to restore these forests. He runs the Grand Canyon Trust.
Well, I would represent those who didn't have a voice, whether that be Mexican spotted owl or other wildlife species.
As Almack puts it, he speaks for the owls.
I'm a registered independent, but I'm about as left-leaning as they come on many issues.
Well, you notice even while we're talking, I'm leaning to the right, not my left, right? So, been very conservative, grew up in a very conservative household. This is an area that was treated.
David Tenney's family has owned sawmills for more than a century, and then came the timber wars of the 1990s.
Your family getting out of the business, was that by choice, or what happened there?
No, absolutely not. Here, the fighting basically started over the Mexican spotted owl. There was an environmental movement that was trying to get the Forest Service to change the logging practices.
So at that point, there was a lot of animosity. In 1993, the environmental community put forward a lawsuit suggesting that the Mexican spotted owl needed additional protections. The courts agreed, and that logging ceased.
Then, in 2002, the Rodeo Chetasky fire blazed across nearly 500,000 acres of Arizona's forest.
It shut down the economy to the entire region for pretty much the whole summer. It caused everybody to step back and say, wait a minute, we can't do this. We can't keep doing nothing.
There needed to be broad community support for going back out into the woods and doing the right thing. No one could be left out.
After decades of distrust, Almack and Tenney and dozens of other stakeholders started hammering out a deal to restore the forests.
What did you think when you think of people like Ethan here, people on the environmental side?
You know, there was a time I wouldn't have give you dynamite to blow them all to smithereens. I really wouldn't have.
What were the main impediments from your perspective?
Well,
Trust.
From our perspective, trust was an impediment.
It was never going to go back to the big timber, right, to the way we knew it, but it didn't have to just burn either.
They agreed that the forests were far too thick with trees and needed to be thinned. So they set out to restore 2.4 million acres of dense national forests.
We've also agreed that most of the trees that need to be taken out are small, and that we're going to leave the larger and older trees as is. Fires burn through these forests very frequently.
If there are more trees closer together,
That's right.
then it becomes a crown fire, which is what?
When you get hundreds and sometimes thousands of trees per acre, fire will run continuously through those trees. And it's really quite difficult, usually impossible, to control that fire once it's running through the canopy, especially with strong winds driving it.
Well, they look busy here.
Yeah.
Some industry has returned to these woods.
My grandpa would always say those weigh 16 ounces to the pound.
But David Tenney has left the logging business and moved into government. He's the newly minted director of Arizona's Forestry Department.
The fact that the two of you can sit down, sit across the table, given your background and where you came from, should that say something to the country?
Yeah, I think it should.
I trust Dave implicitly to represent my interests in the best way he can, and vice versa. And beyond that trust, we have a friendship.
Still, this is federal land with all the bureaucracy that entails. Since 2010, ForFry has only thinned about 113,000 acres, falling well short of its annual goal of 50,000 acres.
We have been supporting the Forest Service and pressuring the Forest Service to do what it needs to do.
In Washington, we're obviously always consumed budget time, appropriations process, and the difficulty has been to appropriate enough money to fight fires and still have enough money to prevent fires.
Exactly. Jeff, the studies have shown that it's about 10 times more expensive per acre to put out the fire than to treat the acreage ahead of time.
So this work makes sense economically, it makes sense for the communities, it makes sense for the forest, for the environment. It's a win-win-win-win-win.
There's a full hour of news ahead on News 3 this morning, Sunday. Next, the latest on Wisconsin's budget battle and what a single vote this week could mean for Medicaid expansion and decriminalizing marijuana. But first, here's a preview of what's to come on an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neil Heinen. Today on For the Record, my guest is Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, and we will talk about his budget, his strategies for working with the Republican legislative majority and their budget proposal, and last week's meeting with Foxconn CEO Terry Goh. Senior political reporter and assistant news director Jessica Arp will add her perspective on the governor's comments, and that's all coming up this morning on News 3 Now.
Right now, fans of apple cider have a new destination just a short drive from Madison. We'll check out Brick Cider House with our tastemaker Andrea Bailing just ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's May 5th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check on your weather with Chris in just a second, but first, let's get you caught up on today's headlines. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened on Highway 14 north of East County Road MM. They say the driver of a Ford Mustang was trying to pass another car when it crashed head-on with a different vehicle. Deputies say a man was killed in the passenger of that Mustang. The Mustang's driver, Thomas Bloom of Janesville, was arrested for homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He is currently being held in the Rock County Jail and is expected to be in court tomorrow. If your Sunday plans include travel, be on the lookout for tractors on your drive. The Wisconsin Farm Bureau is reminding us that when farmers head to the fields this spring, farm equipment will be out on the roads. Be sure to give them plenty of room. Since 2011, the DOT counts more than 1,300 crashes involving ag equipment, causing 26 deaths. Apple's bottom line is taking a big hit. The company says sales tanked 17% in the first quarter of the year. Earlier this year, the iPhone maker blamed the slowdown in sales to China's trade dispute with the U.S. Chinese smartphone makers are also stepping up their game, competing head-to-head with Apple. And looking ahead, the city of Milwaukee is making sure it's prepared for the 2020 Democratic National Convention. One of the first steps is extending the city's streetcar route up to the convention center where the big event will be held. 2.4 miles will be added to the system. The city's Common Council must approve the plan before it moves forward. And switching over to weather right now, Chris Reese joins us, and we might see some showers.
Yeah, it is possible to see some showers and thunderstorms, especially as we move into the afternoon. But one of the things folks are going to be excited about is just the fact that things are going to be warmer than they were yesterday. And yesterday was a warm day within itself. We saw a high of 67 in Madison. Mineral Point made it to 70. Boscobel made it to 71. And I do think it's possible that we do better than that as we go through today. Now, we're forecasting a high of 70 here in Madison. That's above normal, just as yesterday was above normal. Typically, our high around this time of the year is only about 65 degrees. And we're going to keep that warm trend going before we're cooler than average going through the rest of the week. Check this out. We're 12 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday here in town. 14 degrees warmer as you work your way closer towards the lakeshore. That's where they were in the 30s yesterday morning. But temperatures now are in the low 50s and upper 40s, depending on where you are. The Dells at 54. Camp Douglas already 3 degrees away from 60. And we're going to see that warming trend continue going through the next 12 hours. And the only thing to hurt us from making it into the mid 70s is the fact that I do think we're going to get in on some showers and thunderstorms later on. We're tracking some of that activity right now. You've got a little shower over Richland County. I'm not sure that that's reaching the ground at the moment, but there is a threat for showers and thunderstorms moving into the picture as we await the arrival of a cold front. Keeley, that's what I'm going to be nailing down the timing on coming up in Maine weather.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for figuring that out. A big week at the state capitol is ahead as Republicans who control the state's budget committee say they plan to remove more than 70 items from Governor Evers' budget proposal this week, including Medicaid expansion. The governor reacted to a news conference in Milwaukee this past week, saying he's not giving up. His budget proposal is built around accepting federal money, freeing up $1.6 billion from other health care spending. Some Republicans have said they would be open to compromise, but Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, who's long opposed Medicaid expansion, says Evers isn't telling the full story of what that expansion could bring. Vos says it will shift more costs to taxpayers as about 40,000 people would have to give up their private insurance in order to get on Badger Care.
So I'm here today with a message for the people of Wisconsin. I'm going to fight like hell for Medicaid expansion. I need your help to get it done. I need you to call your legislators.
Those of us who control the legislature ran saying we do not want to expand welfare in Wisconsin. So ultimately it takes two to tango, and we are not going to give in just because Tony Evers continues to use misleading rhetoric about what the impact would be on the insurance market.
Evers cited public opinion overwhelmingly in favor of Medicaid expansion. The Marquette Law School poll last month showed 70% of voters polled are in favor of it, but Vos says he has a job as an elected official to take all the information and make the best decision for the state. The Joint Finance Committee plans to meet this Thursday at 11 a.m. But there may be hope on both sides when it comes to a measure regarding marijuana legalization. Vos says he hopes to find a middle ground with the governor on a limited legalization of medical marijuana. Vos has long supported legalization for chronic medical conditions, but says Republicans won't go along with Governor Evers' proposal to also decriminalize small amounts for recreational use. Also this week, ICE officers will start a DNA testing program at the southern border. The pilot program will involve a voluntary cheek swab with results expected in less than 2 hours. The Department of Homeland Security says the unprecedented program will target human traffickers and smuggling exploiting children.
Also trying to identify those families that are presenting as a parent or guardian that are not actually a parent or guardian, and the fraud issue that's intrinsic there.
The government claims the DNA samples will be destroyed after tests are run, but the ACLU calls the plan coercive and says it raises serious privacy and civil liberty concerns. The ACLU calls the program another attempt to deter asylum seekers. More local news now. The next time you go to Breese-Stevens Field, check out their new pink chairs. Don's Home Furniture and Forward Madison teamed up to make custom chairs for patients and families at the American Family Children's Hospital. There are 16 chairs, all of them the best seats in the house with front row action. Each one is made out of 950 recycled milk jugs, and they are weather resistant. The man who helped design the chairs said a lot of thought went into just making them right.
We specially designed the chairs to be a little taller. We specially designed them with a little different back to them and a little wider arm and a little wider footrest to them, so that it would be easy for them to get in and out if they had some complications from surgeries.
Blaine added these chairs give kids a chance to escape the stress that comes with staying in a hospital for a long period of time. He said he hopes this can be a little escape, even if it's just for a few hours. If you're a fan of hard cider, make a trip to Mount Horeb this weekend to sample some of the best. A new cider pub opened there earlier this year. Madison Magazine's Andrea Bailing checked out Brick's Cider in this month's Tastemaker segment.
We source our apples from a bunch of different Wisconsin orchards, so they're all local ciders, locally grown ciders. This very first one here is from Appleberry Farm over in Cross Plains, and this one is just apples. And it's a crisp, light, easy drinking cider.
Mostly heirloom apples on that one.
Yep. And we tend to go dry with most of our ciders. That's just the way we like it, and we're finding a lot of customers like it that way too.
And this is a raspberry flavor?
Yeah, so that one we steeped whole raspberries in. It has that nice rosé color.
It's pretty.
And but it's also dry, kind of like a rosé wine.
This says wild here.
So that one, we foraged wild apples.
Oh.
So that's apples that came up from seed that you'll find on fence rows or in pastures or...
A lot in the driftless region. If you drive through the driftless region in the spring, you'll see all these beautiful trees in flower, and a lot of them are either wild plums or mostly wild apples.
Oh, cool.
We've got a couple really nice orchards that we've kind of found and made friends with the farmers, and they love having us out there, and I think they get a kick out of it.
And it's funny how different the colors are from cider to cider.
Yeah, the apples can make a difference for sure.
Are the different batches totally different from batch to batch with the wild?
Yeah, with the wild, and actually we have yet to recreate a batch of cider, so every time we do something it's different.
Oh, that's
which I think is really fun, and I'm hoping it keeps us interested and kind of keeps us experimenting with things. So you could come in month to month and those ciders on the board are going to change.
Get something new every time.
Yeah, sure.
And then this last one here,
the Wisconsin Old Fashioned. So that one is our play on a classic Wisconsin Old Fashioned. So we
brandy Old Fashioned.
Of course, a brandy Old Fashioned. We're in Wisconsin,
right.
So that one we aged in brandy barrels from Driftless Glen Distillery up in Baraboo, a newer distillery up there. And then we steeped in Door County cherries, some orange peel, and splashed in bitters.
That is delicious, and you definitely get that brandy old-fashioned taste.
Yeah, so that was kind of a fun, experiment. But people seem to like it, so it was fun to make, too.
Yeah. All right, now we have a bunch of awesome-looking plates on the table here. Can you kind of go around the table and tell me what we have here?
So what you've got is a hot link.
A maple hot link.
A maple hot link. I'm sorry, you're right. It's a maple hot link.
And you guys make your own sausages here,
We make our own sausages. And then we've got our house-made ricotta plate. So this is another great Bergère invention. One day he's like, I'm going to make ricotta. So he did. And so now we do this
So you make your own ricotta,
He makes
too.
the ricotta,
Wow.
yep. And then he makes this great carrot jam, which are 2 words I had not put together.
Yeah.
Carrot jam.
Carrot jam, and it's great. You throw the scallions on top. We toast up a little, bread from what wasn't used the day before, and it's a great little appetizer.
Wow.
We've got small kids, so we've got a kids menu. Apple slices, grilled cheese. We do an all-beef hot dog. Stuff that your kid's gonna eat.
Kid-friendly tap room here.
Kid-friendly, yeah. We got squash and black bean soup here. So a great bowl of soup, vegan options on the menu also. I want to make sure I point out Hallie Webking's beautiful carrot cake.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us in. And welcome to the Mount Horeb community here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You can find more of Andrea's reviews on our website, channel3000.com. It's 7-Eleven, and we're bringing the taste testing studio in just ahead. It's Cinco de Mayo, so of course we're making margaritas and pairing them with a grill favorite. Chef Chris Gernon is in from Longhorn Steakhouse. And here's a live look outside. Chris Reese has your full alert forecast ahead.
Hey folks, plenty of sunshine as you begin to wake up on this Sunday. A beautiful day to start, and honestly, even though we do have rain chances coming in, don't let that ruin the fact that today is just a nice day to be outside. It's going to be warm again, temperatures already in the low 50s this morning, and winds coming out of the south at 7 miles per hour. That southerly wind, folks, we're going to watch increase as we go throughout the day. 46 in Janesville, 50 in Monroe, Kenosha at 49. But you see a lot of folks really starting to move into the 50s as we speak. Check out Camp Douglas at 57 or 3 degrees away from 60, depending on how you want to look at it. Doppler track does have a few showers showing up. I'm not quite sure these are reaching the ground just yet, but they will be later on as we move through the afternoon. We're looking back towards the north and west. That's where a cold front is approaching, and there are going to be showers of thunderstorms along and just ahead of that cold front. In fact, we do have the general thunderstorm risk. That severe weather risk is going to be generally farther towards the south and west across parts of western Iowa and Nebraska, but we could see some rumbles of thunder as these storms come on through later on. High pressure is moving towards the south. That is actually allowing for a southerly wind to take over and really pump in some moisture and instability to get those thunderstorms. So watch how things begin to play out for us. Here we are at 10 o'clock. Temperatures will likely be about 10 degrees warmer than they are right now. Some showers are possible, but I think the best shower chance moves in closer towards the afternoon. That's when we'll see those temperatures closer to 70 as well. And it's going to target the southern tier of the area the hardest when it comes to where I do think the most rainfall is going to fall overnight tonight. Now, generally, we'll clear things out later on, probably around 10 o'clock or so, and then into your Monday. Going into Tuesday, watch the next rain chance start to arrive from the south. That is all a part of a heavy rain threat that's going to come our way, especially for the middle of the week before there are signs of drier weather next weekend. But the rainfall that's coming in during the middle of the week could really put down a drink of water. We're looking at about 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches of rainfall in some spots. And of course, we've had a lot of rain lately, so we're going to keep an eye on the water levels. The good news, though, even though temperatures are going to be staying cooler throughout the extended forecast, Keely, is just the fact that the last several days of our forecast do feature more sunshine.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. It's Cinco de Mayo, and we have one of our favorite morning show guests back at the station to help us celebrate. This is Grill Master Chris Gernon from Longhorn Steakhouse, and he's not only mixing festive margaritas, but also pairing it with a delicious meal. So what do we have here?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back.
Of course.
Cinco de Mayo, so it's a great day to celebrate.
Great day.
Got
Great
some
day
good
for
weather.
a margarita.
Yes. It's all about margarita, but you don't think of Longhorn Steakhouse for that. You think of steak.
Yeah.
But we just started something brand new. We feature our 3 Don Julio margarita.
Yum.
It's great. We've had it for a couple weeks now, and it's selling off the shelves. What makes it so interesting is it has a combination of 3 different pours of the Don Julio. We have the Blanco, we also have the Reposado, and the Añejo. So all of those together sound strong, but makes a smooth, rich flavor.
Okay.
So you want to make one together?
Yes. Tell me what to do. You're the
All
master.
right, I got it measured out for you, not too much work for you. But if you'd like, we're going to take all of these, and we're going to add each one of those tequilas into our shaker.
Okay.
All right, and I'll start you off here. We got the Reposado. Then we also have the Blanco, which is your clear one.
Okay.
And you want to add the other 2 in there?
Sure.
The Añejo. And we're also adding...
Ooh.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm
You know, we're
spilling
training
this expensive tequila.
And then we have our Juarez Triple Sec. So it's a very
Okay.
strong drink.
Yes.
Lastly, we're going to have our margarita, our Longhorn margarita mix.
Okay.
Pour right on in. You got it. You're
And
a pro.
what is that made out of?
It's a citrus mix, especially blended for us.
Yum.
All right. And then lastly, got to add ice. At Longhorn Steakhouse, we do it over ice. Make it flavorful. All right. You can see that perfect little pour. Got our cap. Always want to shake roughly 5 times.
Okay.
All right. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then we're going to pour that over. As you can see, that looks delicious. Like I said, it sounds strong, but the flavors combined make it very flavorful.
Okay.
We're gonna top it with a couple limes, and you can see in the shaker there, you can hear it. We still got some left over. That we're gonna leave that at the table for you, and you can finish it off throughout your meal.
All right. So
Yeah.
after the show, maybe.
Yeah, well, definitely. We'll leave these here. But so what goes well with that steak?
Yeah.
Well, we believe our filet does. A filet is a smooth, buttery texture, and with the combinations of the 3 aged tequilas and the filet, it really gives you that full agave profile.
Yeah.
So we think the smooth cut goes with a smooth drink.
Yeah. People don't think tequila and steak.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But we love tequila here at Longhorn Steakhouse, and if we're gonna go with it, we're gonna do it a filet, smooth. So we'll season this one like we did last time. We talked about the boldly season. We're gonna put a lot on there, gives it the flavor. We're using a griddle, so as we're indoors today, and that's because we have the flat top. We're gonna turn that to high. You can use a stove inside the kitchen, turn it up to high, or you can use the grill outside.
Okay.
Just depends on the cut you're using or wherever you want to, your pleasure. So we add some oil to the grill. What's this gonna do? It's gonna make it to where the steak doesn't stick.
Okay.
It doesn't dry it out. So we're gonna put that right on there. All right, hear that sizzle, that's good sound.
Yes.
How we're gonna cook it, we're gonna flip it about every 3 to 4 minutes. Just depending on how much you want it done. I like mine medium rare, so I'm probably gonna flip it 3 times between 9 and 12 minutes. But if you like it more well done, then you would just continue to flip it. That way you're not burning one side too often.
So the steak with the margarita and then maybe kind of any side works.
Oh
here.
yeah, well we featured our cauliflower here today. It's our seasonal item. It's been selling very well. Got a lot of cheese on there. You know, Wisconsinites love that.
We love the cheese. And you said that these margaritas are available right now, maybe through the summer?
Yeah, they're gonna be there for a while. It's kind of a brand new rollout we just did. And we also have the strawberry margarita. We're offering it in a long pour glass, you can see here. It's a glass and a half of margarita for $2.50 more.
Awesome.
Great value.
All right, thank you so much, Chef Chris Gernon from Longhorn Steakhouse. And now that you have the comfort food and drink fix, it's time to talk health and stress levels. Maybe you want to have some tequila. Skyrocketing among college-age kids, and we're seeing a rise in ticks in Wisconsin. What that means for risk of getting Lyme disease, this morning's top health stories are just ahead. Topping this morning health headlines, whether it's because of stress or student loans or classes themselves, the number of college students suffering from anxiety is going up. A study from the University of California at Berkeley finds 1 in 5 college students across the nation is now being treated for or diagnosed with anxiety disorder. That's up 10% over the past 10 years. The study showed anxiety rates increased as students got closer to graduation. Students from families who had trouble paying the bills also saw higher rates of anxiety. Wisconsin is home to one of the biggest tick populations in the country. And as we start to get into peak tick season, the risk of Lyme disease is increasing. Lyme disease is commonly transmitted by deer ticks, and we're already seeing a rise of those in our area. For people affected by the disease, the effects can last for years after the initial bite.
I'm doing great, but it's taken 4.5 years of treatment. And I literally went from I want to die to I have my brain back.
UW-Madison entomologist Susan Paskowitz says the effects can include heart issues, neurological symptoms, and migrating joint pain, which can be stopped with early treatment. Symptoms like the characteristic bull's eye type mark and flu-like symptoms can be some of the earlier signs of the disease. In 25 years continues to spread this morning. More than 70% of the 704 measles infections are in people who aren't vaccinated. The CDC is blaming anti-vaccination groups, saying the outbreaks in the states like New York have been fueled by myths and misinformation, leading people to not get vaccinated. There's a half hour of news still ahead on News 3 this morning, Sunday. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories. And every morning, he stands ready to serve a busy Madison intersection. We'll meet the crossing guard doing something very good with 2 simple words. Thanks for watching. Stay with us.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, it's May 5th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check on your weather with Chris in just a second, but first let's get you caught up on today's headlines. A big week at the state capitol is ahead as Republicans who control the state budget committee say they plan to remove more than 70 items from Governor Evers' budget proposal this week, including Medicaid expansion. The governor reacted to that news at a conference in Milwaukee this past week, saying he's not giving up. His budget proposal is built around accepting the federal money, freeing up $1.6 billion from other health care spending. But Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, who's long opposed Medicaid expansion, says Evers' plan will shift more costs to taxpayers. The Joint Finance Committee plans to meet this Thursday at 11 a.m. There may be hope, though, on both sides when it comes to legalizing marijuana. Vos says he hopes to find a middle ground with Governor Evers on limited legalization of medical marijuana. Vos has long supported a limited legalization for chronic medical conditions, but says Republicans won't go along with the governor's plan to decriminalize small amounts for recreational use. And the next time you go to Breese-Stevens Field, there's a new section of pink chairs you cannot miss. Don's Home Furniture and Forward Madison teamed up to make the custom chairs for patients and families at the American Family Children's Hospital. There are 16 chairs, all of them the best seats in the house with front row action. Each one is made out of 950 recycled milk jugs, and they are weather resistant. Organizers say these chairs give kids a chance to escape the stress that can come with long hospital stays. And switching to weather now, Chris joins us with our first alert forecast. Hi, Chris.
Good morning, Keely. We're starting things out on another beautiful note for this Sunday. This is a live look from the station looking towards downtown and Lake Monona as we speak. But temperatures yesterday, Keely, topped out into the upper 60s and low 70s for a lot of folks. 67 was the high. Here in Madison, you work your way back towards the west. Mineral Point made it to 70, Boscobel 71, Janesville made it to 70 as well, and Black River Falls made it to 73. So with that information, get this, temperatures are some 12 to 15 degrees warmer this morning as opposed to yesterday morning. And I do think we're going to keep that warming trend going around as we go through the rest of today. So that's absolutely fantastic news. We're at 51 right now, 52 in Mineral Point. Same for Lone Rock. Camp Douglas is at 57 this morning, and that warming trend should take us into the low 70s. Some folks could get warmer. The downside that will keep us from getting warmer is the fact that we are tracking some showers of thunderstorms. One starting to show up over parts of western Sauk County. I'm not quite sure that that's reaching the ground at the moment, but that is the one lone shower in a sea of sunshine that we do have across southern Wisconsin this morning. But a cold front does linger just back towards the north and west, moving into the Twin Cities as we speak. It's going to be moving southward into an environment that is more conducive for some thunderstorm activity. Granted, they're not expected to be severe, just the garden variety thunderstorms. But Keely, we're going to time that out coming up in the final main weather segment in a few minutes.
All right, nice to see that sea of sunshine. We certainly have earned it.
Absolutely.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, a 33-year-old man is dead after a head-on crash in Janesville Saturday night. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened on Highway 14 north of East County Road MM. They say the driver of a Ford Mustang was trying to pass another car not involved in this accident when it crashed head-on with a different vehicle. Deputies say the man killed was a passenger in the Mustang and pronounced dead at the scene. The Mustang's driver, Thomas Bloom of Janesville, was arrested for homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He is currently being held at the Rock County Jail and is expected to be in court tomorrow. Also in Rock County, Janesville police have arrested a man with the help of a canine officer and a drone. Officers say Alexander Schneck was first on their radar after he was identified as a driver quickly fleeing from a Shopko on Humes Road back in May 1st rather. Then last night, an officer found Schneck at Quick Trip on the East Memorial Drive in Janesville. Schneck reportedly ran through the back of the store. Now, Canine Fred and a drone were used to find Schneck, who was hiding in a garage in the 700 block of Cornelia Street. He was arrested on several charges, including theft and burglary. We have new information from the DOT this morning on just how bad traffic has gotten since construction started this month. Drivers say they've noticed wait times doubling or even tripling at the Verona Road and Highway PD intersection. The Department of Transportation tells us that's because with the new larger configuration of the intersection, there's just too much space for 2 lanes of cars to turn left at the same time safely.
Your 7:30 to your 9, and then from your 4 to 6, it's just amazingly crazy out there. I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot of accidents, but people at least have slowed down enough and know that just to take it easy, and it's going to take time.
The DOT tells us they've been constantly monitoring the volume of cars at this intersection and are adjusting the configuration as needed. Their main message to drivers now is be patient, plan some extra time, and check out alternative routes on their website. Looking ahead, officials say as soon as tomorrow, crews will begin shifting traffic near the intersection of Verona and Raymond Road. They say this will be the permanent configuration. All of the asphalt and concrete that is piled up in the median will eventually be crushed up and reused as part of the project. Well, he's a fixture of sorts in Madison, helping people get to where they need to go and at the same time sharing his energy and excitement for the day ahead. And as Charlotte DeLeste shows us, he's proving you don't have to do very much to do something very good.
It's another early day at the office for Bobby Ringquist. This is his office, where Glenway and Monroe Streets meet in Madison. Bobby is the crossing guard here.
You may cross, sir. When I took this job 6 years ago, I didn't realize that it would be like this. You may cross. See you tomorrow. Bye.
But he does a lot more than making sure people get to the other side of the street safely. For these commuters, he's like their morning cup of coffee, making sure everyone starts their day off right by infusing power into 2 simple words.
Good morning.
Something as simple as,
well, good morning,
has brought this intersection and people here to life.
Because I know sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I don't even want to be around me. I just wake up in a bad mood. But, you know, if it helps someone get out of their bad mood, going to school or work, I'm all for it. Good morning, boss.
You'd never guess it, but Bobby says he's a shy person. But that has undoubtedly changed.
I remember I used to not be an early person, but this job also grew me into that. Good morning!
Delivering those words with sincerity, kindness, and authenticity, it comes as no surprise to see the relationships he's made with those who drive by.
I generally know people by their cars and part of their license plates, so a couple of them have crossed me up by getting new vehicles.
Or walk on 2 or 4 legs.
Thank you. Have a great day. There's an element of trust because to them, I am a complete stranger, except when I stand here. But for some reason, they feel I can trust this guy.
It's the little things that can make a big difference, even for Bobby.
It amazes me every day. No matter how long I do this job, every day I am still amazed. And I am very honored. Good morning, Kyle.
Honored to help anyone start the day off right, like a cup of coffee, whether you enjoy an early morning start or not.
It just makes me feel good as a person. It tells me I'm doing something good and that I'm doing something right. Good morning. Have a great day.
Isn't it amazing what a simple, well-intentioned hello or good morning can do? Bobby, thank you for doing something good. If you know a person, business, or organization doing something good, please let us know. Make a nomination at channel3000.com/do-something-good. Well, a fast food war rages between 2 of the country's most popular burger chains, why one is marketing a not-so-happy meal. And Lisa from Toppers is back with a Sunday night pizza party idea. We'll talk to her next on News 3 Now This Morning, Sunday. Welcome back. Burger King is taking a swipe at McDonald's, releasing its own not so happy meals. The fast food chain is advertising real meals, an adult-sized Whopper meal that doesn't come with the toy. You can order based on how you're feeling. For example, the salty meal or the blue meal. The move is in honor of Mental Health Month in collaboration with the nonprofit Mental Health America. The slogan on the box reminds customers no one is happy all the time. But speaking of happy, you know it's a good morning when we are here with Lisa from Toppers. And Lisa is sharing how you can make a pizza really fast. It sounds like you have some sort of competition going on at Toppers.
We've got our annual Skin Sprints competition that's coming up. $4,000 is on the line for the fastest pizza makers in our company. We had qualifying matches a couple weeks ago, and we had team members that made 6 pizzas, sauced them, got them ready to rock in under 2 minutes. So you can imagine how insane that is. You know, we start with the pizza dough in general. It comes out of a tray. We plop some flour on there. We make a little crust on this guy. Pop those bubbles because nobody likes a bubbly pizza. Plop it over, stretch it a little more. Slap it. Obviously, I'm not working in a ton of space here. Yeah. So
I'll give you some more space.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're good. But ultimately, we compete to make the fastest pizza because when you order pizza, you're hungry.
You want it fast.
Yeah, you want it as fast as possible. So our goal is to make the pizzas as fast as possible.
What is your record?
No, my record, I actually did 2 minutes and 15 seconds 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you you're racing for that 4,000?
No, I'm not. I'm an area supervisor now, so as a result, I kind of coach my team to move really quickly. So the Madison region general manager actually is one of the qualifiers, so we're looking forward to seeing him in the middle of June for that.
You'll have to update us on how that goes. And Toppers has other things other than pizza, so
absolutely.
show us some of this.
Yeah, so we've got our brand new pretzel bites, right?
Ooh,
so who doesn't love some super pretzels, right? Little mini bites. We've got our nacho cheese, but you can actually select whatever dip sauce that you would want along with that. We also have new sauce for our wings. So we've got Boom Boom sauce. Gah, it's a little savory, it's a little sweet, it's a little bit of everything. With our new $5.99 menu, we've been running it for about a year now, but we love it so much we're not letting it go away. We want to be able to offer value with a ton of variety for our customers. So we've got our monkey bites.
Ooh,
right?
yum.
So we've got some monkey bread. That's our raspberry cheesecake one.
Breakfast, right?
Yeah, and it's like totally free, right? No points for this. You're just gonna eat all you want. Free calories. Yes. Yep. So we've got that. We also have our mac and cheese, and all of this stuff is actually in that $5.99 deal.
Okay.
So you can mix and match as much as you want, and as long as you purchase 2 or more, you can get them at $5.99 a piece. This is our loaded Tatza mac. Oh gosh, yes. It's a lot of food. So the intention is that everybody in the family wants a little bit of something different, right? And so we want to be able to offer them that variety as well. Don't worry, we're going to leave this because this is everybody's breakfast, right? Yes. Nothing better than Topper sticks. We've got some pepperoni sticks here as well. And we've got, last but not least, our wonderful pizza. So for those of the people that don't know, we actually make all of our dough fresh in-house. That's how we're able to do things like Skin Sprints, because we don't have a factory that makes it. It doesn't come pre-made in dough trays. We literally make all of our stuff from scratch. So we take a bag of flour, we take yeast, we take salt, sugar, water, and oil, and make it into the magic that you know of Toppers.
Perfect. And I know you have a taco pizza too, perfect for Cinco de Mayo.
Yes. We've got our nacho sticks, our nacho topper as well, and so we're ready to rock for Cinco de Mayo for you guys today.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely.
And after a gorgeous start to the weekend, Chris is tracking the return of rain. You're looking live over the Capitol. Your first alert forecast is next on News 3 Now this morning. But first, let's look at Who's 3. This is Jackson. What a cutie pie. Happy birthday, Jackson, and happy birthday to everyone else out there today.
Of course, it is a beautiful start to the day, but we are tracking some folks that are getting in on a little bit of rainfall. And for that, we have to go to parts of Richland and Sauk County as we speak. This just moved out of Richland Center and Muscoda. Now the shower is starting to move into the Prairie du Sac area and just north towards Baraboo. So if you're in this area, despite the sea of sunshine that we have, this is the lone island of shower activity in southern Wisconsin as we speak. That is starting to reach the ground. Thank you to Deb for sending the report on that one. Now, as we work our way back towards the north and west, we do have a cold front that's going to bring more showers and thunderstorms our way as we go through the day. And as it pushes southward, it does run into an environment that is going to be more conducive to see lightning and thunder, though the severe thunderstorm risk is going to be farther towards the south and west across places such as Omaha, Nebraska. There's the cold front towards the north and west. We have high pressure to our south and east. Winds rotate in a clockwise direction around that region of high pressure. That means we're bringing up the warmth and we're bringing up the moisture from the south and west, all the way from the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to help aid that thunderstorm development later on today. In the meantime, the weather is relatively quiet. Temperatures are warm, though. We're at 51 degrees. Again, check out those winds coming out of the south at 7 miles per hour this morning. 52 in Mineral Point. Same for Lone Rock. Camp Douglas, 3 degrees away from 60 right now. But as we put things into motion, watch how those shower and thunderstorm chances begin to increase. This is 1030. RPM picking up on that spotty shower chance. It's just a little bit farther south than where they actually are at the moment. As we move further into the afternoon, we'll see those highs around 70, but notice more and more shower and thunderstorms beginning to develop at that point. And I do think from about Madison and the Dells and points to the south, that's going to be the best zone to get in on those showers and thunderstorms as we move into this afternoon and evening. Overnight, we actually turned the showers off. In fact, we'll see a lot of cloud cover going through Monday, but it's not until Monday night and into Tuesday that the next round of rain begins to come through, and that actually starts what's going to be a pretty soggy period. Check out Wednesday into Thursday. We could see a lot of heavy, cold rain during that time before I do think we're finally going to begin to dry out by next weekend. But the thing is, with all this rain coming down, it could add up and add up quickly at that. We're looking at the possibility of about 2 to 3 inches of rain across southern Wisconsin as we go through the week ahead. So do be prepared for some soggy times. The good news is once we get beyond Thursday, we actually have a solid 5-day stretch with no rain in the forecast. And it has been a very long time since we've been able to do that, Keeley. Temperatures, though, are going to be below average simply with all the rainfall coming in. Here's your pet walk. Jinx on vacation to the Dauphin Island campground, and that just looks awesome right there.
He is just loving life.
I know. Your beach coffee mug, your Florida boat would actually do well as a good one with that one.
It needs to be right there.
Yes.
What a cutie pie. Well, there's more ahead on News 3 all day long at 5:30 and 10. But first, a final check of your forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You've probably heard of staycations, but what about fakecations? A business called Fake a Vacation allows people to do just that. The Nebraska-based company will superimpose pictures of you on backdrops of Hawaii, the Grand Canyon, and other popular places. Officials with Fake a Vacation say their clients stage their jaunts partly because they want to have travel pictures to post on Facebook and Instagram. And this seems to be a trend. A study by travel website JetCost surveyed more than 4,000 people, and about 10% admitted to putting fake travel pictures on social media. Interesting. And this trip is real, but we kind of wish it wasn't. If spuds are your one true love, you'll want to book a night in the Big Idaho Potato Hotel, which is now listed on Airbnb. Slightly disappointing, though. It's made out of steel and other concrete plastics and things like that. So no potatoes. You can't eat your you can't eat the hotel. It sits in a field of South Boise and was created by the Idaho Potato Commission. Would you stay there, Chris?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe. I mean, it seems like
an
interesting real trip at that. Yes. I was shaking my head at the fakecation. Come on, just go on a trip.
People are going to want to post some pictures of Madison
At least take
today.
a real picture, you know, outside something, and you know, post your staycation. Today's going to be a good day, especially early with some of that sunshine. I'm going to be posting the storm pictures later because I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm going to be posting the sun photos. That's more my wheelhouse. Thanks for watching. Have a good